What's up, y'all? Welcome to Bouqui'S Place. You know what we do here. We don't talk about the glitz or the glam. We talk about the grit and the grind. And we bring your favorite people to share their experiences on how they made it, so that they can practically equip you with resources and tools that you need to do destiny. And in the building today, I have the phenomenal casting director, actress, the speaker of worth. Listen, man, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll for the one and only Lala, Kemi Lala Akindoju. Yes. How are you, my darling sister?
I'm good, thank you. Good to be here finally.
I know. Can you be in the center?
Okay,
Just in the center.
at the
Yes.
center of it all.
At the center of the ring. Listen, man, it's so good to have you here. And I know you're a great conversationalist. So I'm just we're going to flow with it. We're going to flow with it. We have our boundaries, but yeah, we're still going to entertain and make people see that. Listen, destiny has to be apprehended. You're not going to sit down and look pretty and think that you can do destiny. You have to get up and do it. Bouqui'S Place is about, exactly, it's about ordinary people in their ordinary lives doing extraordinary things. So we bring people like you to share your thoughts, experiences, and stuff that that can practically equip people so that they know that, man, I have no excuses. I just got to get up and do it. I just got to get up. So when I shut up now, we just roll with you. Wherever you go to, we go to. But you remember our talk? So I still got you. I'm going to just give us a little background of who you are, and then we get this show on the road. Welcome to Bouqui'S Place.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here. Well done with doing this. I mean, I see you brought every and anybody, and that must be a lot of work, So my name is Lala Akindoju. I'm an actor and a producer. I sing sometimes. I work as a casting director sometimes. I host events as well. And honestly, some of these things I had to venture into because I needed to keep earning an income within the industry. One thing wasn't going to be paying the bills. I've been acting professionally for 15 years now. I started acting in 2005 professionally, and I didn't always know I would think I was going to be an actor. I found myself in this space. Like every average Nigerian teenager or Nigerian child, I think that I was also confused, what to fill in your jam form, all these things. And in the midst of my confusion, I found myself expressing. I found myself in the arts, expressing myself, and that led me to where I am. I attended my first job didn't come through an audition. It came through. I was just in the right place at the right time. Somebody from church thought, oh, I think you would work for this because you sing as well. And I did a play in 2005. And then I realized, okay, this was it, because I was in a bit of a limbo. And after that, in 2007, I attended an audition for theater, and then I got a job. And I just knew that this was what I wanted to do. And I knew that my first degree wasn't going to be easy for me, but it wasn't an excuse for me not to put my best into graduating with good grades. So I mean, that's in a nutshell. Yeah, I love my job. There's so much more to achieve, so many more grounds to conquer. It's not always smooth or rosy, but I am also sure that this is where I'm meant to be. So I think everybody goes through a season where they are not sure because things are not adding up. And I always say to people, the first thing you need to do is to learn your purpose, to know your purpose, and to understand your purpose. When you understand your purpose, then you are able to endure the hardship. When you know that this is what I am going to be doing for the rest of my life, or this is the one thing by which I will become great, or this is the thing that the world will know me for, this is the thing I can do without getting paid, then you know that's your purpose, because there's so many times you're going to, I mean, now this is 15 years in this thing. So I feel like it was in the first 5 to 7 years that I had moments of, doubt. And I had moments of, when your account is empty, you sit at home, you drink your gari, you just look at the ceiling and you just like, God, what next? But you keep going because you know that this is where you're meant to be. So I believe that everybody has to know what their purpose is. I think that purpose is very important in life. I think that when you have found your purpose, then you can walk in it and you can grow in it. But without your purpose, you're going to be like groping in the dark. So let me know what myself. Anyway, you said to say a bit about myself, and I have.
Wow, that's really interesting. I want you to talk about purpose, because we've been confused by a lot of motivational speakers. Oh, follow your passion, find your purpose. Your passion will lead you to, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I? So differentiate between passion and purpose, and just let's just talk about it. How do I know my purpose? Especially if I can act, I can sing, I can dance. Remember when we were younger, we used to do everything. We kind of groomed, So how did you know which was for you, and how did you find the mental capacity to stick to it?
Yeah, so to be honest, not everybody can do more than one thing quite well. And that's okay. So the first step is to find the things that you like to do, the things that you love to do, the things that you can do without a paycheck, the things that if you don't eat for 3 days and you're doing that thing, you're not going to realize that you are hungry. You need to find that, but you need to find that by yourself. Now, the thing I find is that, I love motivational speakers because there are things to learn, from them. But, I find that many people depend on these speakers or on these materials to discover this thing. Unfortunately, the journey of purpose is very personal. You have to go on it by yourself. You have to do the work. And sometimes you might spend years trying to figure it out, but it will be worth it in the end. So the first thing I would say is you have to find your purpose by yourself. Nobody can do it for you. You might listen to this conversation and read books that can help you, but you're still going to have to do the work by yourself. So not everybody can do more than one thing well, or not everybody enjoys doing more than one thing. But you are going to know the category you fall into when you discover yourself, when you find out the things that you like to do. So I always tell people to be practical. Take a pen and a paper. Write them down. What are the things I like to do? What are the things I hate to do? For me now, on my journey, I found out that at the point when I was a full science student in secondary school, I hated it. I hated physics and chemistry. I used to cry. Every time I had to study physics. But I would still, I was passing. I would still get a C4 or something, which was good. But I knew that I didn't enjoy it. But guess what? Even as a science student, I picked literature because I loved to read and I loved to talk. So after a while, I had to be honest with myself, and I had to drop the physics and the chemistry. And then I picked up government because I now decided that I've still not figured this thing out, but I need to be an art student. At least that will help me narrow things down. But you know the things that are a chore for you. You know the things that you hate. You know the things you like. So do a list. When you do that list, you can eliminate things. Now, the next thing is, which one of these things requires a skill? Now, if it requires a skill, because you find a lot of people, maybe some of the things that come to them naturally, people like to work with their hands, they like to read, they like to sing, whatever it is, just write it down. Now, which one of these things requires a skill? If it requires a skill, get training, work on that skill. So then you can go to school and study that. You can pick a course. I met a 22-year-old yesterday who told me she didn't go to the university. And I was so impressed. And she's a makeup artist. She is a makeup artist. And she started doing makeup professionally when she was 18. And she said when she was done with secondary school, she told her parents that the university was not for her. Now, she's doing very well. And I'm sure she's going to pick up some courses along the way. But that's excellent. There's no need anymore going to university for 4 years to fulfill righteousness and to get a degree you're never going to use. So it also depends on the stage of life that you are. So I know that this is a mixed audience. There are people who have already gone to the university. There are people who are about to, or people who are in there. I feel like what I'm saying now is for people who are not yet in there. So if you are not yet, you know, then if something requires a skill, then you go and learn that skill, because talent is not enough. You need the skill. You need training. You have to respect the process, you know. So you do that. Now, if you have already been to the university and you didn't study something that comes to you naturally, that's also okay. You can still do this exercise. Now, can you pick some of them informally? Can you pick them up informally, some of these things? If you're like I always tell people, some people say, oh, I want to be an arts person, I want to dance, I want to, but I'm studying biochemistry because that's what my parents said I should do. And I'm like, good, it's okay. Education is not only about the books. What do? It means that somebody like you need to join a dance group or a theater group, because you even need to check. You know, sometimes people have ideas. I want to dance. You need to check that this thing you think that you want to, that you can do it and that you will enjoy it. You know, so you can even check it informally. Hang out with dancers, hang out with actors, go and volunteer, go and intern. Then you realize that this thing is not even what I thought. Or you say, this is exactly what I thought. And then you decide that, okay, I want to go on, or no, this is not for me. Let me try something. Because another thing is that a lot of people have ideas in their head. They see people from a distance. They don't know what it takes, and they desire it. And then I keep on asking people, why? You don't know why, but find the why. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're not learning a skill that you like or you love, find it informally, you know, and then you now have to be honest with yourself in terms of, when you do this thing, how do you feel? How do people feel around you? Are you solving problems when you do this thing? Does somebody tell you that was excellent? Does somebody tell you, I want you to do it again? Does somebody come back saying, and you do realize that, you know, the fulfillment, like for somebody like me, when I did that first play in 2005, in that play, I sang, I danced, and I acted. It was a small play. I didn't get any money from it. I was in year 2 in Unilag studying insurance. So I was still confused, but I knew that insurance was not for me. At least I knew that. You know. But when I did that play, Bouquie, when I was on that stage, first of all, the process of going to rehearsals, I realized that I would save my food money so I could go to rehearsal.
You sacrifice for it.
Do you understand? That's something. Because I knew that, of course, I had to still study. I would use my free time to learn my lines for the play. And I did it for free. It was not a charity work. The people that were doing it, they made money. But I didn't get paid. But I loved it. At the end of the show, the way that I felt, I knew that this thing, I want to do more of it. So that was what pushed me to start researching, reading, understanding. And I said, okay, this acting, I would go through theater because I was studying insurance. So I already felt like I was disadvantaged. But I was like, I will go to theater so that I can rub shoulders with the people who went to school to learn this thing. And I will get trained and I will submit to the process, you know? So I find that when you now do these things, when you assess yourself honestly, you get to know, did I enjoy it? Did people enjoy it? Were they enduring me because they love me? Did they really want to tell me to stop? Do I never want to do it again? Is somebody going to be willing to pay me to do this? Only you can answer those questions. If you are answering these questions in the affirmative, you are on the right track to finding it. Now, if you're a person of faith, of course, you need to ask God and then see how you are led, and you can put all the signs together, you know. But so these are the things I would say that you should do to start to find your purpose. And then it will take some time. But when you find it, it's like you've hit jackpot. And then it's not that money is going to come. It's not that the checks are going to be rolling in. You are going to be enjoying yourself. You're going to find fulfillment, and you're going to find that you are getting better. That is a sign that you are in the right place. Now,
$10,000.
Yes, so I think that you need to be passionate about your purpose. You have to be. I don't think you can separate it. I think you need to be passionate about your purpose. Now, depending on what you really answer, there are still practical things, because I don't believe that people should be hungry. I don't believe that people should be starving. People need money. They need to live good life. Poverty is a sin. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
But so you need to also sometimes you need to sacrifice some things because of that purpose. Sometimes your purpose has to wait. You might have to wait 5 years. You might need to work somewhere for 5 years, save money, be working on your purpose on the downtime because it can't bring you an income. And then after those 5 years, you now go whole hard, like you go fully on it to turn your passion into your purpose, into your work. You understand? That's like, now I'm talking about earning a living and earning a good living, because many people are frustrated because they're not earning a good living. So sometimes you have to wait. Oh, you want to own a restaurant, you want to do art, you want to run an art gallery. These things could be expensive. You can't start doing that art gallery business today. You can't be an art curator today. If something like that is your purpose, you need investment. You need to even understand the art business. You need to attend art exhibitions. Those things cost money.
Yeah.
So you need to get a job first. And then that job might be uncomfortable. You might not enjoy it, but you have to do it because it's giving you a paycheck. You better be motivated by that paycheck. And for the period, you put your money together and you work towards when you will stop so that you can get into what you really want to do, because it's all part of the process. And you must tell yourself that you are always learning something that you will use eventually to keep your purpose going. That's the end of my story.
Wow. See, there were some corners that while you were saying it, you said submit to the process.
Yes.
It might be uncomfortable. I need you to break that down, because a lot of people are like, oh, I have a dream in my head. I'm quitting school. I'm leaving this. I'm not getting a job. I'm just going to stay here. God will open the door, send a raven to bring food and all that stuff. How do you practically submit to the process? I know that you just talked about getting a job to fuel your dream and all that. But how do you submit to a process? Do I lie down in front of the process?
I wish. No. So one thing I tell people is it's not about you. So even this your purpose thing is so that you can affect people's lives and you're not a waste of space on the earth, on the face of the earth. That's the real reason for your purpose. It's not because you want to be eating food and be traveling. Those things are good, but onto what?
Selfie. Taking selfie.
So those things are good, but onto what? So it's not about you. So you have to realize that it's bigger than you, and you have to be willing to submit to the process. Now, what is this process? This process might be years of service. It might be years of training. It might be years of working a job that you don't enjoy, but it's paying you so you can build up for that, that dream. So some of these things, it might be years of just not working. It might be years of traveling somewhere else where there's no family. But those things, I will say it again, you have to find them out by yourself. I don't know what they are. It varies from person to person. And there's no one size fits all for people. So which is why sometimes there's a danger in some of the motivational talk sometimes. I have motivational speakers that are my coaches and I talk to all the time and I go to for advice and they've been very helpful to me. But I always say that there's no one size fits all. There are general things. So what your process is, it might be different from my process. But the thing is, we have to admit that there is a process. For somebody like me, part of my process was doing theater for 5 years, strictly, and not trying to get into film or television yet, because I was in training. And even as I was in training, I was doing plays every Sunday for 3 years. In those 3 years, I didn't go to church on Sundays. I resumed at the theater every Sunday at 7 a.m. I worked in all the departments of theater. Look, I worked in every department. I worked in costume. I worked in production design. I worked in accounting. I worked in marketing. I went to the market. I did welfare. I bought food. I did all kinds of things. That was my process. So much that now, as a producer, you can't bamboozle me with production. There's no department I can't work in. I know something about every department. But that was my process. And of course, in that period, I wasn't earning good money. I couldn't afford a lot of things. I wasn't trying to... I told somebody that the first time I got a wig, I paid 3 times for the wig. And I only gave somebody... I just gave the wig out. It was, where you finally buy a quality wig, just one. But I cut my coat according to my size. I always say the 11th commandment is know thyself is not a curse. So knowing thyself is knowing that, okay, I didn't have a car. I would take Okada. And when I get to where I'm going, I'll get down, I'll freshen up in the bathroom. Just because everything on budget. I wasn't earning a lot. You do a play. Maybe you get 30,000 naira for the month or something. Do you understand? So it wasn't, but I knew that this thing, I knew that this was my process, my purpose. And I knew I was going somewhere, but I knew that this suffering, as it were, was my own process. For some people in my same line of work, they discover that they want to act when they are teenagers. They are lucky to go to film school immediately, and then they get into auditioning early. And before they are 25, they have their first acting gig. Their own process might come later. But it will be, I'll be doing myself a disservice if maybe I'm looking at that person and I'm feeling somehow, I'm comparing myself, and I start to slow down on my own journey. So everybody's process is different, but you have to tell yourself that you will say yes to whatever your process is. And part of that is doing the work to find out what it is by yourself. If you need to lock yourself in a room for 7 days, please do it. It's your destiny. It's your destiny. You have to find it. If you need to shut out the world, you need to do it. But it's not, I always tell people, because after this now people will come to my DM, please help me find my purpose. I will say, I cannot help you. I won't even look at it.
I'm not Jesus. I'm not Jesus. It's Jesus.
Help me find my purpose. Help me, please. I need help to know my purpose in life. I don't know what your purpose is, dear. You need to do the work.
Wow. Wow. But this is so real, though. It is so real. And as you're speaking, I'm listening to key things. You talked about comparison.
Yes.
It's a topic that have broke a lot of table in this day and age. I mean, especially because back in the day, Lala, you guys had to come to Echo FM. I had to either come. Do you understand what I'm saying? We had to all get together somehow.
That was people now all those nights in Echo FM studio, sitting on the floor, doing voiceover, doing backup. It was processed. It was processed. Carry on.
Now all I have to do is check out what Lala is doing on the phone. And then I can get jealous. So I conceive a dream. I conceive a dream in my heart. And you know how a dream is, it's a little seed, it's really small in my head. And so I have a dream, and then I go on IG, I go on Instagram, and I see Lala's full-grown dream. I don't see when it was a seed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I now compare my own seed and somebody else's full-blown tree. And I'm like, I can never be that.
Yes, yes.
We pack our dream and throw it away. I need you to speak to the dangers of comparison.
I mean, there's a Yoruba proverb that aka don't use another person's wristwatch to work.
But if it's a Rolex, if they give you a Rolex and they say just hold this Rolex for me, okay, never mind, go ahead.
And even when you collect the Rolex, you will change the time to suit your time zone. Amen. Because the Rolex have come from America, you might be in another continent. But the difference, and we've touched on it, the difference, the disadvantages, the dangers of comparison is that because you don't know what that person has been through, you're going to put yourself down and you're going to stop yourself. Remember that I emphasize how you have to do the work. You have to do the work finding out what is going to work for you. Because you see, everything is in the mind. The mind is where you win and you lose 99.9% of the battles. If already in your mind you believe that you cannot do it, there's no motivational speaker, there's no Instagram live, there's no prayer that will make you do it. So by the time you are comparing yourself, you don't know what the people are doing in secret. You don't know what they did to get to where they're going. And if you are judging them based on Instagram, people only put out Instagram info. I tell people, Instagram, social media is curated.
Yeah.
By curated, I mean it's controlled and it's scripted.
Edited highlight.
Yes, I'm going to put what I want you to see. It is the Lala that I want you to see that I will put out. I'm not going to record myself when I'm crying. I'm not going to record myself when I get a no. I'm not going to post a no to something or an application or whatever. I'm going to continue doing. When I now get a yes, I will celebrate it. So you cannot compare your own reality to somebody's curated, somebody's scripted, because you don't know what they've been through or you don't know what they are doing together. So please don't do it. You're unique, you're peculiar. Your process, your journey is different. Day your day, make a day my day. Focus
make everybody day.
You don't understand? Focus on your focus and you will realize that where you are going and where the person is going is very different. So what the sacrifices you have to make and the sacrifices the person has to make, very different. So I always tell people, like, there are even seeds. There are seeds of greatness and there are seeds of just being regular. And so I ask some people, where you go? Are you going to greatness? If you are going to greatness, the price is higher. And the seeds you have to sow are bigger and they are big and they are more expensive. And so sometimes you realize, I mean, when I was still volunteering and carrying bag for some people, I had a master's degree, but I was carrying bag on set for people. But I said, I know where I'm going. Nobody should make me feel bad. I'm not feeling bad. You know, I will carry bag on set and I was helping actors. And I remember one particular set, I had auditioned to be an actor in there, but I wasn't paid. And it was also because there were no roles. I also didn't understand how a lot of things worked in film. But all I wanted to do was I just wanted to be on the set. And by being on the set, I was able to help the actors get ready for their scenes. I would help them learn their lines, you know, and that helped them realize that are you an actor? Do you want to act? You know, I remember that was one of those sets where my relationship with Inse, that's when my relationship with her started, because I didn't know her from anywhere, but I was an assistant to an assistant on that set. And I would help her with her lines to get ready for her scenes. And that's how we bonded. And that's how she just adopted me. She's like my big sis, you know, whatever. Do you get? Well, how did that happen? People will come today and say, you know this person, hey, you only know these people. But you know that I was doing assistant work then. I was spending my money to go to, nobody was paying me anything. And you still have to appear serious, carry yourself seriously. So my point is, meanwhile, there are people who started, like I said, they will slay immediately. They will, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But so far, that's not your reality. You have to focus. And so please, you have to protect and guard your heart. And sometimes, because your destiny is so important, you need to go the extra mile. So if you need to get off the internet, get off the internet. If it's affecting you, if you're not strong enough, you know, if you need to block some people, block some people. If you only, you know, whatever inspires you, open it. Whatever makes you compare yourself, block it until your mind is strong enough. Because you have to know yourself. So if you're not strong enough, don't tell yourself you can handle it. If it depresses you, if it makes you compare yourself, then don't look at it and put things in place. But you have to be disciplined. And if you cannot do these things, you are not ready for your purpose.
Wow. Because I'm listening to you, and some people, instead of them to focus on what they have to do, they get on someone else's page that they aspire to be like, and they troll them.
Oh, yes. That's the spirit of bitterness. That's a spirit of bitterness. And let me tell you, you're never going to be better than somebody that you're doing that to. It's just a principle of life. You're never going to be. So you aspire to be like somebody and then you troll them. You're never going to get near where they are. Because what you need to do is finding ways to help them, solve their problems. How can you serve them? That's a way to even, so that there are principles. You don't even have to be a Christian for some principles to work. There's a principle of showing activity. Do you understand? If you serve, you are preparing to be a leader. These are just principles that work in life. So if you're aspiring to be like somebody or somebody and then your way is to troll them or to drag or whatever, you're never going to be like them. I'm not cursing you. You're never going to be like them.
Wow. Wow. Woo! And she said that get off the internet, but between 7 o'clock, come back for Bouqui'S place, and after that, you know that.
Only if it is blocking you, if it's blocking your destiny.
Wow, this someone said words of gold. Exactly, words of gold. You said that when you gotta know. So what we do here in Bouqui'S places, we practically equip people so that when they go through that similar experience, they know how to, we equip them with resources and tools so that they pull through. Share with us one time you got to know that the door closed in your face and it made you second guess your talent. Like, wait, so am I just wasting? But wait. To aspire and inspire to retire. Should I deceiving myself? Do you understand that moment that we all get to? How did you pull through it? What was the experience?
I mean, I feel like in life generally, you will always get a no. Yeah. But in my line of work, no is like constant. You have to. I try to also like teach people that I mentor or when I speak that nobody really teaches you about how to handle rejection. But rejection is part of my job because you're going to be rejected a lot. And it's standard. You audition for something, you don't get the part. Now, that's not rejection, but you feel rejected. And I always tell people, don't deny your feelings. There's no need to be superhuman about it. Admit that you feel rejected. It is okay to feel rejected. Yeah. It's okay to feel like I really wanted that and I thought I deserved it, but I didn't get it. But it's okay. Now, I feel like it takes a few experiences of getting a no to start to tell yourself, it's not because I'm not good. It's only because that thing is not for me.
Not the right fit. Yes.
It's not the right fit. But it doesn't, you see, what we just said now does not jump on people. Motivational speakers, we can say, that's why you are not getting it. It's because you're not the right fit. But on the field, people are going to feel sad. They're going to feel rejected. They're going to feel down. And me, I say, it's okay to feel that way. Acknowledge the feeling. Feel it. What do you do when you feel rejected? You want to cry? Cry. You have a few trusted people you want to rant to them. You want to shout at God. It's okay. He has heard many people shouting at him. Shout.
And it's still good.
So do whatever. But I mean, there are certain things you shouldn't do. So if you know how you are, you don't have to like go on social media and start ranting or start abusing people. Now that's negative. Okay? Now, so you have to allow yourself go through the cycle of emotions. And that cycle of emotion, but it doesn't mean that you are weak. You are only being true to how you feel. Okay? And so when that happens, then you can objectively assess the situation. Did I get rejected because I was bad? Did I really do my best? Was I really good? Were there people really better than me? And these are honest conversations you have to have with yourself. If you cannot have honest conversations with yourself, you're not ready. So and then you can objectively improve and get better. Now, if you're getting the no's, there've been so many no's that I have had. You audition for many things all the time. We get to audition for things and you don't get it. Even now, at this stage in my career, I still audition. Wow. I still audition. But I might not do a public audition. I might do a private audition or send in a self-tape or a closed whatever. And sometimes they're like, oh, thank you very much, but sorry, we went in another direction. And I'm not talking about a long time ago. I remember a particular film that I auditioned for, and it wasn't even a public audition. So it was pretty much, they even said that, look, this is not about testing your talent. we just want to do a screen test or whatever. And I did it, and it was pretty much done, but then they went with somebody else. And I wept. Look, I didn't just weep that they went to somebody else. When the film was released, I wept. I went for the premiere. At the premiere, on the show, I think I was even already married, so it's recent. At the premiere in the cinema, as I was watching the film, I was crying. Because I was saying that, what is this person doing that I cannot do? Do you understand? I was like, am I that bad? That, I would come this close. And trust me, there've been a few like that. So it wasn't a first. So I worked all the way home. Oh, by the way, my red carpet pictures were bomb. They were fire. I slayed on the red carpet. My makeup was pink. But I wept in the cinema. And I wept on the way home. And the next morning, I got up looking morose. People were loving my pictures and saying, Lala, you were so hot yesterday. Better Nigerian, all those things. But I was just like, what is this person doing that I can't do? And it was even my husband that said, like, you know what? They just went with that person because that's who they wanted. It wasn't because one person is better. Sometimes you just want somebody. And that's life as well. And it's not that I don't know that thing. But I felt the way I felt.
In the moment.
Exactly. I felt the way I felt. And I went through it. At least I didn't deny it. I didn't, pretend, which is, but I was sad. And there've been many. When I was much younger, there was another one. I had, auditions. You go through different stages of auditions. Actors will understand what I mean. When you get a call back. When you get a call back, you're excited because that's like, yay, you get a call back. And then, when you get to the stage where you sit down with the director and you are negotiating schedule. You're talking about, this is the location we're going to shoot. In your mind now, you have the job. You have the job. So on this, and this was an international film. On this film, I had spoken with the director. We had talked about location, everything. But then NDA, confidentiality, you can't really tell people that I auditioned for this film. Can they call? Oh my gosh. That's how I received a text within my phone that, oh, hi. We're sorry, but this other actor will be playing the role that you read for. Now, this actor is my senior, a big star, somebody who has paid their due. Do you understand? The person deserved it. And the person was going to be better for the film. But I felt rejected. I felt like, this is not fair. But you know what that did to me? I said, I am going to build my name to the point that people will say, I want Lala's name on my production because it will move my production forward. That's what that particular experience did for me, because that actor's name, it added more to the profile of that production. It added value to that production. But the person has paid their dues. Hello, me, I was just a baby. And that's another thing that comparison can do. That's another way comparison can kill you. You're comparing yourself to somebody who has spent 20 years suffering, building a name, paying their dues. You are 5 years old, but you want the same thing they're getting, and you're shooting yourself down for not getting it. Don't do that. First of all, it's a disservice to yourself. And it's like an entitlement, So I felt sad, but I wasn't angry. I felt rejected. I cried for a day or two, and I cleaned my face. And I said, you see this name, Lala? We're going to build it to the point that people want it on their productions. People are like, I want to see Lala Akindoju on my production. I want that name, and that's my mission, to be honest. I don't mince words with it. I'm clear about what I want, how I want people to feel when I'm in a room, when I'm on a production, when I'm somewhere, and I know what I want people to feel, because for me that value is longer, is more of a legacy, it's a stronger legacy than even the millions and the checks. So when people say, if I see Lala's name on a production, on a play, on a poster, on something, I would like to see it, or it will mean something. When Lala is on set, and it's not easy to build that, but that experience that I had, it made me make this decision. So sometimes your experiences of rejection propels you. It propels you to want to do more, and you try, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to interrogate the situation. You have to know why you were rejected. Now, in that instance, I wasn't rejected because I didn't have talent.
Mm.
I was rejected because I wasn't the perfect fit. It wasn't time, you know? And I also needed to rejoice for that person and respect and celebrate them because it was their time and it was their time for harvest.
And it's a seed for you. It's a seed for you.
Exactly. And that, look, it doesn't mean that tomorrow something is going to make me question my talent. Trust me. There are things. I was telling a friend yesterday, look, there are certain things I've been applying for. I've been getting a no, the same thing every year. I apply. And then, you know what's worse? I'll see people that in my mind, they are on my level or I'm better than them and they're getting picked. Why are they getting picked over me? Of course, they're saying or doing something better, maybe in the application. But you know what? Instead of me to be angry, I called one of them. I said, please, I want to apply for this thing again next year. You will help me apply because you have gotten in. So you obviously know something. So the humility to even go and say, I understand that there's something that you are doing that I'm not doing. Even though on the outside, I seem to know better than you. What can you do to help me? You know, never be afraid to ask for help. Stoop to conquer, ask for help. Show me, help me. Please, the words, maybe the way I'm writing my sentences, maybe I didn't punctuate properly. You know, maybe typing is not my strong point. Ask for help, but you have to also surround yourself with people you can be honest with and materials. I believe in relationships so much. I believe in surrounding yourself with the right people. On this journey of life, you need the right people around you because life is going to throw you all kinds of balls. Your mind is going to fall down. You are going to cry. You're going to be confused. If you don't have the right support, you can have a mental breakdown. And mental health is also important.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my rejection story. And there are many. There are many.
Wow. Because you see, you need that circle, that support system that you can be vulnerable with. However, what we do now is, see, let me tell you the one thing that guards me. It's called the 5 P's of life. Proper people placement prevent problems.
I'm hearing that
proper people placement prevents problems. A lot of people don't know how to place people around them. So they open up, keep your circle small. They now have the worst people that, even though it's a small circle, but the people that don't have their backs. You know what I'm saying? How do I recognize my team? How do I know these people are for me? I mean, you know, when they say when people show you who they are, believe it. You know, but we make we make excuses for people, and you know, how do I know who to be vulnerable with, especially in an industry like yours? How do I know who to trust?
I always say this, and I learned it, something Auntie Joke told me very early days in my career. She said, don't lose friends you've had before now. You will make friends in the industry. You will form relationships and bonds. But you made friends from school. You made friends, you know, maybe your cousins. Don't lose those people. And I think it's very important to keep those people. People who, they don't care about their social media profile because they work in a bank. And that's their real work, you know. So they all they know about social life is from you, you know. But they're your friends. And they've been your friends. Don't lose them. You know, don't lose them. You know, somebody's saying I told them the same thing. Exactly. Don't lose those people. You will find new friends. And I always say to be open and to remember that people are human. So don't expect too much so that you are not hurt. Because you find that many people are hurt, they are let down, then they close up. They close up and then it affects them. You know? And relationships don't come like that. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of investment, it takes a lot of trust. You know, so, and to be honest, with relationships, you can't script it. So you can't say that, oh, let me set a situation and see how this person will handle it, then I'll use it to judge them. You can't, because you don't know what life will throw to you. But people will show you themselves. For me, I don't joke with people that show up for me. I don't joke with them. When people show up for me, they go from 0 to 100 in my books. And I may not speak to them all the time, but when they need me, I will show up for them. Just on that
like this show.
Like this show, girl, you know what you did. You know.
Let me tell you guys, when I hit Lala up, she said, Bouqui, I'm in a quiet space, I'm off social media, I'm not doing interviews, but because it's you. And that really made me
I'm tired from Instagram Live, Bouqui. I'm not doing Instagram Live. But Bouqui and I, we go way back. I'm like, no, you've never asked me for anything. We've been there, you know. So I was like, I had to say yes and make this. So yeah,
Thank you.
So build those relationships. Don't let go of the friends you had before you got in the industry. Don't. Yeah, the ones that, you know, and relationships that have been with you for 7 years, 8 years and upwards, you know, keep them. You will find some new relationships that will turn out to be gold. Right? But you will know. You will know.
When we were in primary school, I think we used to sing one song, "Make new friends, but keep the
old." Yeah.
Yes. Wow. I need you to lend your voice to purpose versus popularity.
Okay. I mean, I think it's also because we're in a world or in a generation where the entertainment industry is now at the forefront of many things. That's why popularity is even coming up. Because for the person whose purpose is to be a career person, whose purpose is in the corporate world, and they're doing great, they're not going to be popular. You know, they're not going to have Instagram followers. But they need to be solid in that place. For the people who are inventing things in science, there are people who are doing great things in the northern part of Nigeria. We don't know them on Instagram, but I mean, there are people that, like an organization called the Future Awards. The Future Awards tries to stick out the unpopular people doing great things. But I'm just saying that if your purpose is in education, to be teaching and to build better structures for education in your environment, chances are you are not going to be popular. If you are in that space and you found out that is your purpose, that you are looking for popularity, you are wrong. You know? So in like my line of work, a good part of the validation of a performer comes from the audience, which requires applause, popularity. Exactly. I always, you know, when I'm doing a play or I have a film in the cinema, look, on opening night or whatever, I'm always nervous. Why am I nervous? Because I'm like, we could have done all these things and the audience might not like it. What we now do is now not about us, because you can't cook food for yourself to eat and you say, this thing I cooked is so sweet, so you eat it, you know? For our line of work, the audience is a very important part of the validation. That is why popularity even comes to play. But then there are different types of popularity. And then there's now the question of, what are you popular for?
Yeah. What's your fame
for? Your work and doing your work well. Or are you popular for negative things? What are you popular for? Now that's a conversation you have to have with yourself. You have to call yourself to a body meeting. Sit down.
Self, me, myself, I sit down.
You settle down and you talk to yourself, you know. But so I don't think purpose and I don't think there should be a versus for purpose and popularity, because apart from entertainment and maybe sports, so there's entertainment, there's sports, some parts of arts and culture. So like, and you have to be like now, painters. Only people who are art curators or people who are passionate about art know the very popular artists, right? Visual artists. But some people are fulfilling purpose in that area. Nobody knows them, and they are wealthy, and they are fulfilled, and they are great. But in their area of purpose, they're doing well. So I don't think popularity should be a yardstick. You know, it really should be about your purpose and what your purpose requires of you to do.
Wow. Absolutely. Absolutely. You talked about mental health, and you are very, very, you're like you bear the torch for it. What inspires this?
I just find that it's something that we don't talk about. As Africans, as Nigerians, we don't talk about mental health. We either we call it the white man's disease, or we
Or don't talk
spiritualize
about
it,
it.
or we don't talk about it. In fact, this morning I remember telling somebody, I said, look, people of faith need to know that mental health issues are real, and faith and therapy are good. Like, you can talk to
Yes.
somebody, you can have a counselor, you can have, but we don't talk about it. And I find that in my space, in the entertainment industry, a lot of creatives, because being a creative and being a performer, it takes a lot from your spirit. It takes a lot from your heart. And then the work is seasonal, and all of that. So I'm very passionate about it. I think we need to talk about it more. In fact, I made a short film called Fine, which
Yeah,
I'm
so
contemplating whether to put on YouTube or not, so that everybody can see it. About,
but don't you have a promo of it? I saw a promo of it on
yes, there's a
YouTube.
trailer of it out there. Yes, of Fine the short. And it's just, all the purpose for that film is to let you know that people that have mental health look like you and I. And then you don't have to have a mental health conditions. Maybe when somebody died, nothing has to be physically wrong with you. There's also a chemical imbalance. It's also like a medical condition. So we need to treat it the way we treat malaria is how we should treat mental health. But we also need to be intentional about protecting our mental health. This year has been very hard on people, especially creative people. And many people are dealing with mental health issues, So people need to know that they are not alone. People need to know that it's okay. People need to know that, it's not a curse. There's nothing wrong with them, but they need to protect their mental health, and just really ask themselves, are they fine? So I think it's something I'm passionate about, and I always talk about it. I always encourage people about it. And I definitely, especially as a person of faith, I find that even Christians have mental health issues, but they're sweeping it under the carpet. And me, I'm just like, we need to talk about it. We need to get help. We need to help one another, encourage one another, and, just deal with it.
Wow. It's a stigma that we need to get away from that era. It is what it is, and we need to face it. We have 4 minutes more. Lala, there's this Me Too movement that's in Nollywood, and I've seen you very, very charged up about it. Why were you because you were like heralding it?
Yeah. It's not even a past tense. It's present continuous. It's not was. It's forever.
Oh.
Because I don't think anybody should take anybody for granted. I don't think people should be sexually harassed. I don't think people should ask people to sleep with them for roles. I don't think it's right, especially when you feel entitled to a woman's body, and and then you find that a lot of, and I'm passionate about it because a lot of younger people than even myself don't want to come into the industry because they are afraid. So you find a lot of parents saying, I don't want my child to be an actress because they are going to sleep around. Somebody's going to sleep with them or something. And then many people's destinies have been stopped. People are not as great as they should be, because it's just wrong. It's not right. People are traumatized. You don't want to know how many stories I have received of, young girls just saying, I went on a location and they put me in the room for accommodation, and then the cinematographer slept with me. Somebody raped me on the floor. Somebody pressed my breast on set. Somebody told me my bum was hot. It is wrong. And if we don't talk about it, it's going to continue. So it even comes from the snide remarks. A costume, a makeup artist is doing your makeup on set. Don't say, come and press my face. So, this your makeup. It's wrong. Just be professional. And don't take advantage of people and their bodies, especially because you are employing them or you have more power over them. It's wrong. I detest it. I will keep speaking up for it. We have a long way to go because getting justice is hard. But we'll keep talking, and God will keep helping us.
Wow. Listen, man, your passion is 100. It's 100. And we love you so much, Lala. What are the things you're working on now?
Oh, I mean, y'all should keep your ears peeled. September is going to be a month of announcements. You're going to be hearing about stuff. COVID got nothing on us, So I'm excited because I'm working on some productions that I'll be sharing about. So please follow me at Lala Akindoju. I just created something called Actors Blueprint course. You can sign up for it to understand the basics for getting into the industry. Just click the link in my bio. Yeah, just keep your ears to the ground. Well,
Give your ears to the ground. Lala, sing for us now. Are you going to do something about your singing in the nearest future?
You know, before the year is ending, you might just receive a single. In fact, in my short film, Fine, I did the soundtrack. Oh. When I put it out, the short film had
I heard it. I heard it.
The soundtrack, yeah. So that's something. But yes, I'm going to do something about it. Don't worry.
I think I say melody or something before you have exit this hand.
What song did I sing now? You know, now song will now leave my brain. Hey, nothing is coming to my brain. Bouqui'S.
Count on me to
I don't know American, so I'm a local girl. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to keep. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you believe. Yay!
It's similar to my body.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Lala, for coming to Bouqui'S Ways.
Listen,
you guys follow Lala. There's a link in our bio. Click it and sign up. It's going to be amazing. Drop this file now. Let us know so that we can watch it.
Yes, we'll let you know. We'll let you know.
Thank you so much for coming to Bouqui'S Ways.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you so much.
I love you so much.